So in this lecture, we'll use our little student list table to familiarize ourselves with sorting and filtering. Now, if you'll notice, I'm on the Home menu selection, and on the ribbon for Home is this little filter section, and here's a sort, ascending, and I'm sitting on the first name, so I'll just click on ascending. And that sorts alphabetically A to Z. I can click on descending, and it does it in reverse. Notice when I do either one of those things, it shows me which one's active, and I can click on remove sort to go back where I was. Same thing on last name. If I click anywhere in the last name, I can do ascending, descending, remove sort. Now you might not have noticed, but if I'm back here in last name and I do ascending again, notice the little tiny arrow here that appears. This arrow indicates that we're sorted currently on this column. If I click on the little pull down, notice it has in gray sort A to Z, and I can select the other one, sort Z to A, right there on the pull down, and then I can remove the sort. What if I want to sort on multiple columns? If I click on first name, can I hold shift and click on last name? I can. I can select multiple columns like Excel, and if I sort ascending, doesn't seem like it does anything, but you can tell right here, here's two Garys, and here's Mitchell, and then whatever that word is starting with an R. So it is sorting by one, then the other. The problem is it's automatically sorting from left to right. What if I wanted to sort by last name and then first name? Well, with basic sorting, you can't do that. We have to go to advanced sorting. And I'm not going to do that yet. We're going to do it in the section on advanced tables because there's a couple things on queries I want you to be familiar with before we do that. So we can't do that right now. I'll click on remove sort, but we will when we get to the advanced section. You can see that if I click in GPA, I can sort by that. Notice that the blanks sort first. You'll find that just about everywhere in computers, blanks sort first. So if you're sorting by something, you're actually looking for blanks, just sort the column and all the blanks will pop to the top. In the date of birth, if I sort ascending there, same thing. Actually, I forgot to take this one off, so I'll just remove both sorts at the same time. How about enrolled? Now be careful with these true false fields, because if I want to click on the top cell in enrolled to then sort, notice what happens. It actually changes the data. I have to click to put it back again. What I do with true false fields a lot of times is just click on the field next to them and then just press the arrow. Now in enrolled, if I click ascending, notice what happens. All the trues sort first. Okay, so why is that? If I do descending, okay, so why is true sorting first? I'll go ahead and remove the sort. We'll see that when we go to filters, there's actually a numeric value when you have a true-false field that's saved. It does not save this check mark. It's just showing that to you for its true value. But we'll see what's behind there when we go to the filters. Now let's go to filters. If I click on a GPA field here, notice that there is this little funnel and there's a word called selection. If I click on that, it gives me some comparisons, some filters based on that value in the field I clicked on. So if I wanted greater than or equal to that value, I could click on this and it would immediately filter out all the records that did not match. Now I've got, just like I had remove sort, when I have a filter active, I can click on toggle filter and it just turns it off again. Now let's say I wanted everybody from 2.95 and up. I can click on 2.95, click on selection, and say greater than or equal to 295. Then I could sort them, say descending. So all the top people would be in the front. So between the two, you've got a lot of capability. Now I'm going to remove the sort, and actually just before I remove the filter, do you notice there's a little filter here, just like there was an arrow? If I click on that little funnel, I can change the filter right here. I can clear the filter and this shows me that I've got a greater than filter. I'm going to go ahead and click Clear Filter. So it's just like clicking on this toggle filter up on the top. Now I don't need to click right on a value and then click on selection. I could just pull down the little pull down and go right to number filters, and I could say greater than and just type in a value. Let's say we wanted 2.99, and I'll click OK. So I'd get everybody with a 3.0 and on up average, and I can click on the filter and clear it. So I can just use the pull down. I don't have to use the ribbon. Now, did you notice that when I pulled that down and I went to number filters, I had equals, does not equal, typical things like that. If I go over to last name, I have text filters. Since it's a text field, equals, does not equal, begins with. So if I had like the letter S, everybody with the last name starting with S, or does not begin with. This is kind of nice. Contains. If you're looking at addresses and you want somebody on Oak Street, you could just type the word Oak and it would pick up all those. Ends with, does not contain, a lot of different things. Probably the most varied one is the dates. If I pull down dates and I go to date filters, and actually let me move my screen over here so we can see this. If I go to dates and I go to date filters, they still go off the screen. A lot of different date filters. This is really handy if you're dealing with current dates. Last week, last month. I'll go all the way down. Actually, if I go off the screen, there's year to date, last year. There's on the very bottom all dates in period. So I've got quarter 1, quarter 2, and then the different months of this year. So with dates, you've got a lot of very quick filters that you can do. I'll click on cancel and let me bring my window back. One last thing I wanted to show you on basic filters. If I click on the last name and then go over to the enrolled, this true false field, if I go to selection, notice what it says. Is -1, is not -1. Remember I told you that underneath there is a numeric value for true and false? You'll find this everywhere in all the Office products. If you ever have something that's true, it's really saved as a -1 value. And a false is 0. So -1 is less than 0. So when you sort, that's why the trues sort first. Okay, so you can also, you don't have to do that. I can do in -1, but I can also do is selected. It's the same thing. Or is not selected is just like having false. I'll go ahead and toggle the filter. And that's just the preview. That's just the basic stuff. We'll get to the advanced. They're behind this advanced button here when we get to the advanced section on tables. But for right now, it's time to move on to the next section, which is the basic section on reports. See you then.